Hello, everybody. Hello. And happy Wednesday, guys. Welcome. Happy Wednesday to each and every one of you. Come on in. Grab your seat, guys. Get settled. And let's get ready for this Wednesday's edition of Moca Unfiltered, as we talk about other than Miss Theresa Martin protecting everyone but Kenneka. And we're also going to talk about the man that Theresa hid inside of her lies. So before we get too caught up in where we're going with this, you're new here, welcome. I'm going to keep the chat moving tonight. Tell us where you're tuned in from. Put your city in the chat. Hit that like button now so YouTube knows that we are all the way live, talking real truth tonight. I want you all to know, as you all come in here and get settled, I'm going to give the room time to get comfortable. I want everybody in here tonight for this one. So guys, we'll be back in exactly 2 minutes.
Welcome to Moca, no love bills. Hit that like button, you might break the scale. If you can't join the membership, still ride for free, $99. Yeah, we lit in here. Comments popping, energy rocking, we all shine. We have a stay. Turn it up, we in the South with style and grace. Mocha got 'em talking, can't nobody take a place. Nah, from the bayou to the block, we drop truth, not tea. You ain't gotta pay the vibe, hit that like for free. Every panel on fire, every topic gon' trend. If you ain't a member yet, you still a friend, amen. Got love for the real, was no time for the mess. We keep it authentic, that's no labels at its best. Welcome to Moca, no love bills. Where the truth ring loud like church bells. Like, comment, subscribe, free 99 if you ride. We don't fake the vibe, we go live, we outside. Welcome to Moca, no love bills. Where the truth ring loud like church bells. Like, comment, subscribe, free 99 if you ride. We don't fake the vibe, we go live, we outside. It's Mocha and the crew, we the talk of the streets. Bring the real back to YouTube, no scripts, no beats. We laugh, we drag, we educate too. All the bells in the chat know how we do. So tap in, lean back, sip your drink real slow. Let the haters keep watching, we steal the show. From Mocha to Nola, we hold it down steady. Platinum plus approved, that girl stay ready. Welcome to Mocha, na 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 bells. Welcome to Mocha, na 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 bells. Welcome to Mocha, no love bells. Where the truth ring loud like church bells. Like, comment, subscribe, free 99 if you ride. We don't fake the vibe, we go live, we outside. Welcome to Mocha, no love bills. Where the truth ring loud like church bells. Like, comment, subscribe, free 99 if you ride. We don't fake the vibe, we go live, we outside. From the panel to the people, it's pure real talk. She ain't following a trend, she lead up with no lights on blast. But every episode hit like first class. We ain't gossiping, we testifying, keep it bold. Every story got a lesson that need to be told. So hit that bell, join the ride in style. Welcome to Mocha, stick around for a while. Welcome to Mocha, no love bells. Where the bells ring, truth in the chat stay lit. Like, comment, subscribe, don't quit. If you can't join the membership, free $99. Still with it. Still with it. We outside. We outside.
All right, all right, all right, y'all. Come on back, come on back, come on back in. We're up in this thing. The vibe is right. And if you're joining us for the first time tonight, welcome, welcome, welcome. And if you've been here since the countdown, I appreciate you for sticking around. But go on ahead, hit that like button real quick for your girl. So YouTube knows Moca's here. Moca is here. And now that we've gotten that out of the way, family and friends, cousins, Nola Bells and Bows, come on in here, take your seat. Tonight we ain't rushing. We ain't rushing. We ain't running and we're not dancing around nothing. We're going somewhere. We're going somewhere. We're opening doors that have been shut for 8 long years. And I need y'all present. Your mind, your heart, your spirit. I need you present. Because once we start this story tonight, you can't turn back. Buckle up. We're going and we're digging up Theresa's truth. The truth behind the chaos. The truth behind the silence. And the truth behind the people who failed Kenneka long before she ever stepped foot in that hotel. If y'all ready, type I'm ready. And let's get into it. But before Moca do what Moca do, y'all know Moca got to take a little time. And Moca's going to greet her people. And tonight is one of those nights I ain't going to do the personal greetings. I'm just going to say welcome, welcome, welcome to each and every one of you all. Appreciate you all for pulling up in here tonight. Thank you guys for dropping the I'm ready up in here. Appreciate it. Appreciate it. But before we begin, let me be very clear. Let me be very clear. Everything you hear tonight, thank you guys for dropping the I'm ready. And make sure you hit that like button. And don't forget to interact with the right. YouTube has to know that we're uncovering some shit tonight. Share out the live if you can. Because there's a young girl somewhere fighting the very same demons that Kenneka fought. Share out the live, guys. Everything you hear tonight is based on publicly available records, legal filings, interviews, documented evidence, and my commentary. My commentary. This is a breakdown of behaviors, patterns, decisions, and many, many contradictions. Not an accusation of any crime, but I'm speaking on the adults involved, not the victims. I'm analyzing the system. I'm not assigning guilt nowhere. But if accountability makes you uncomfortable in here tonight, this may not be the space for you. So let's do this. Before I go too far, let me share with you all the real reason Theresa's dancing in the street naked. Let me tell y'all the real reason. 8 years later, Theresa can't keep still. Let me tell y'all the real reason. Theresa's spiraling out of control. Theresa's been out here with many contradictions and many stories. Many of them. But the one story that Theresa never told, the one story or the one piece to this story that Theresa never told. Yes, Lord, Charlotte's Web, the devil got that hoe. The devil got her, the devil got her. Listen. Welcome, everyone. Don't forget to hit that like button. How many of you have known? How many of you know? See, there was a story out that we followed, right? Kenneka's father supposedly passed away, left an inheritance that Theresa cashed in on. Now, to everybody's understanding, Kenneka's biological father is deceased. Ain't no truth to that. And I'm going to tell you why there's no truth to that. If you're ready to hear why there's no truth to that, type in the chat, Moca, I'm ready. I'm ready, Moca. Moca, I'm ready. I'm waiting on y'all. I want to see how many of y'all ready, because I'm ready. I'm ready. My sister Rashina says, Moca, I'm ready. And that's it, and that's all. All right. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. We ready. We ready. Listen. There's this man. See, Theresa loves to control the narrative. She always has. But there's a man that stayed in the background and was never brought to the forefront. And we have to question and ask ourselves why. Why? But we didn't know this man existed. We didn't know. This man, Kenneka's biological father. Hear me and hear me well. Kenneka's biological father. His name. His name. And I don't need nobody debating with me about who this man is. If you want to debate, go debate. Go, goddamn it, debate with Theresa. Go debate with your mama, your dad. Go debate with somebody, but not with me today. Kenneka's biological father. His name is none other than King Edward Jenkins. That's his name. Theresa kept this man invisible because his story didn't match hers. She couldn't control him. See, Theresa loves to control the narrative. Theresa love. Welcome everyone that's new to the chat. Welcome. Have a seat. Kenneka, biological father. I'm going to say it one more time. His name is King Edward Jenkins. That's his name. See, Theresa likes to be in control. Her entire presence proved this. Her entire presence proved it, right? The rants, the contradictions, the emotional explosions, the shifting of her timelines, the selective truths. And then this bitch had strategic omissions. Her truth only work when she's the one telling it. Hit the like button for your girl. And baby, let me tell you, King Edward Jenkins, he wasn't controllable. He wasn't controllable. He was emotionally, he was one of those people that Theresa could not control emotionally. He wasn't loud. He was not sloppy. He wasn't scrambling out here for attention like Theresa. And he wasn't thirsty for sympathy, right? If y'all are rocking and rolling with Moca right now, say, Moca, I hear you. Keep coming. King Edward Jenkins, he was quiet. You see, quiet people, you can't predict them kind. See, Theresa couldn't risk a man who didn't need the spotlight. Theresa couldn't risk a man who'd fame. Thank you very much, Tarsha. Theresa could not risk a man who didn't chase attention over fake grief. And she damn sure couldn't risk a man who didn't jump on Facebook every 5 minutes. You hear me? Coming forward with a version of events that didn't match her. She couldn't handle that. She couldn't handle it. Her whole persona depends on her emotional authority. But guess what? King Edward Jenkins stripped her of that. He stripped her of that. Cousins, neighbors, Nola Bells, bows, and friends. While y'all sitting in here getting all this good tea, go on and hit that like button for your girl. It helps push this truth out. And baby, you getting truth tonight. Let me tell you, King Edward Jenkins, Theresa didn't want this man exposed because he could speak to the home life that she don't want made public. That part. This right here, Nola Bells and Boats. This is the dagger. This is the dagger. See a father, whether he's present or not, because he's around every once in a while. A father can speak to the real home environment. He can speak to what the child witnessed over the years, who was in and out of that house, the lifestyle Theresa kept, the chaos that she invited. King Edward Jenkins could have spoken on that. He could have spoken on the people she entertained, the dangers she normalized. He could have spoken on her parenting, her emotional instability, her street connections, her choices around many men, and there were multiple of them. And the trauma that she maintained. We're going to be all the way real with this shit, because a mother who kept a child in the streets does not want the father coming out and confirming it. And we do know Theresa did some strange things for some change. And as she did strange things for change, she also had her daughters out there doing strange things for change. See, Theresa don't want nobody saying she was in a game. She don't want nobody saying she was around certain people. Theresa don't want nobody saying she didn't always put Kenneka first. She damn sure don't want nobody saying That house wasn't a stable one. Theresa's a calculated hoe. She don't want this man coming out here to say, I tried to step in, but she blocked me. Theresa don't want nobody to say she pushed him away to control the story, because that destroys the victim mother image that she marketed into the world right now. She don't want nobody to discover this, because if this man came out and talked, reveal who the hell she really is when the cameras ain't rolling. See, y'all, Theresa has two identities. In the public, she's a grieving mother. And in private, this bitch is a woman that the people in Chicago knows very, very well. Although some try to defend her, some tries to cover up who the hell she is, but Moca ain't buying it. See those neighbors, those associates from her street days, those relatives who cut ties with her. People been saying, people have been saying, Theresa's involved herself with dangerous men. People have been saying, people around Theresa have died. People have been saying, drama follows Theresa. She has enemies. She had alliances. She carries very dark energy, and we see that clear as day. Those people in Chicago, they talk about how she's inserted herself into dangerous circles. But y'all, who else would know this better than King Edward Jenkins? Who else? He knew her in her rarest form. The version before the internet, before the press conferences. He knew the real Theresa Martin. And that version of her is not the one that she wants the world to meet. Keeping this man invisible lets her play the I did it alone role. Now, bitch, not today. Theresa loves the spotlight. She loves the chaos. She lives for the sympathy, and she loves the attention. Theresa loves to feel. Theresa loves the narrative to be, I was the only one fighting for justice. And why she loves that is because it strengthens her position. It centers her as the tragic hero. Bitch, sit down. Sit all the way down, Theresa, because I'm sick of your raggedy ass. But if you introduce a father, one who cared enough to listen to this. Listen to this bombshell, and if you're ready, say, Moca, we ready. We ready. Theresa girl, I want you to come in here naked with socks on, bitch. Come. King Edward Jenkins. Theresa feared that if she introduced him to the world, if she didn't make him such a secret, the people would know too much. But make me understand something, Theresa. He wasn't that much of a secret because he got paid too off of that settlement. You know the hush money. King Edward Jenkins got a piece of the pie. This man, he cared enough, showed face to file as Kenneka's legal kin. He's related. Theresa can't dismiss this shit because this man was, he stayed quiet, but he was very, very present. Now, suddenly, Theresa's not the only grieving parent. She's not the only one with authority. She's not the only one with rights. She's not the only one with a goddamn voice, and she's not the only injured party. And baby, let me tell you this. Theresa don't share stages. Not Theresa, because it's all about her. Not emotionally, not psychologically, not publicly, privately, none of that shit. That her entire identity in this case is gonna fucking collapse whenever King Edward Jenkins decides to step the fuck up. And if he decides to step up, he could confirm the neglect, and Theresa knows it. She knows it. So let me be a little raw with this shit. A father who was in the picture in any capacity would say things like, I tried to tell her to be careful. He couldn't say that shit because he wasn't there. He could also say Theresa didn't supervise properly. She put the streets before stability. She allowed dangerous people near that child. She dismissed many concerns, and she didn't protect her daughter like a mother should. She chose chaos instead. Ladies and gentlemen, even if this man was not a perfect man, he could verify things that Theresa has worked so hard to bury. And nothing threatens a person who survives on chaos more than somebody who can calmly, quietly say, bitch, that's not how it was. So, y'all, there are many reasons why Theresa is spiraling. Many reasons. And who knows if King Edward Jenkins is not one of them. See, his silence gives him power right now. And that's scaring the shit about her. That's what's scaring her right now, because this man is solid. This man is not saying shit. Quiet people are dangerous people. They ain't violent. They're not chaotic. They're dangerous because they observe. They're dangerous because they remember. They don't need attention, and they don't rant. They don't contradict themselves. They don't expose their hand. They hold information. They hold information, baby. And Theresa, this bald head bitch, she's loud. She's reactive. She's emotional and impulsive. Bitch, you're erratic. And you're attention driven. See, this man, he's a threat. He is a damn threat, because quiet people don't break under pressure. They don't slip. They don't give free information. They speak when they want to, and he has been. And when they do, they usually tell it all. See, Theresa couldn't risk that. Theresa could not risk that, because if he stepped up, the world would question her role in that family's dynamic. Let me tell y'all something that you all may have not known. And you can say that you heard it here. But before you can say, I heard it at Moca's, why don't y'all go ahead on and hit that like button for your girl? Hit the like button for your girl. Share out the live, because tonight's conversation is much needed. Listen to this, family. Listen to this. And I want y'all to understand exactly where Moca's going with this. The settlement. When I said, if this man would step up, the world would question Theresa's role in that family's dynamic. When they all sat around that table, and signed that NDA and agreed to shit that normal people would have not agreed to, right? Theresa got $3.7 million. Theresa got 3.7. I want y'all to follow me. King Edward Jenkins, he received, hey, Sister Coco Better, love you, boo. He received $1.2 million, y'all. If I was an absent father, if I wasn't present, I had nothing to do with our upbringing, whatever the fucking situation was. If Theresa could have set her ragged ass around the table, I was gonna sit too. So now, Theresa gets her cut. King Edward Jenkins get his cut. And why did this man get a cut, you all may ask? Well, let Moca tell you why this man got a cut. King Edward Jenkins received $1.2 million because the law recognized him as a legitimate parent, not some random sperm donor she wanted to erase. And let me just say this. Let me say this for the slow ones in the back. Because there was no settlement. There was no settlement from a deceased father. Now, if Theresa gave y'all that story to run with, that's on y'all. Moca ain't running. Moca ain't running. If this man was not a real parent, the courts wouldn't have given him a goddamn dime. The payout that this man received, it proves that he's the legal, it proves that he's the legal guardian. It proves that the system saw him as a father, even if Theresa didn't. Theresa probably didn't want to acknowledge him as a father. But God damn it, King Edward Jenkins said, bitch, if you getting it, I'm getting it too. And if the world sees that, Theresa didn't want the world to see this. Now that the world sees it, the world has questions. Why wasn't this man involved? Why did Theresa push him away? Did she keep him from Kenneka? Did she block communications? Theresa, what did you do to destroy the co-parenting relationship? Then we have to ask, was her chaos part of why this man stayed distant? And baby, let me tell you, these are questions Theresa cannot afford. She can't afford these questions coming her way. And for the folks in the back who needed just a little more simpler than what I put it, Theresa kept King Edward Jenkins invisible, because the second he opened his goddamn mouth, her whole storyline would crack just like the pipe she smokes. That man knows the real her. That man knows the real her. Not the Facebook crying her, not the naked her, not the press conference her. He knows the before her. And that's the version she never wanted the world to meet. Nola bells and bows, family and friends. Now that we've cracked the door open on King Edward Jenkins, let's talk about the other side of this story. The part Theresa has spent years trying to keep out of the spotlight. Because, listen, y'all, you don't just erase a whole goddamn father out of your daughter's life's narrative unless exposing him would expose you. And that's where the real story begins. Because while Theresa stood in the spotlight, cameras, crying, wailing, ranting, pointing fingers at people, changing a goddamn story every time the wind blew a certain direction, there was this man out there standing in the dark, watching, waiting, being quiet. And he knew things that she never wanted said out loud. We have to stop pretending. I don't give a damn how many narratives of our here. I don't give a damn how many times Theresa come out here acting a donkey. We have to stop pretending, because I have no sympathy for Theresa. Theresa wasn't no stable, soft-grounded parent. We see that. People from Chicago has been talking. It didn't just start today. They've been talking. Theresa was out there in those streets heavy. She surrounded herself with dangerous men. Her house had been a revolving door. People tied to her mysteriously died. Folks in the neighborhood where Theresa come from, they distanced themselves from her mess. She had enemies on top of enemies. She had drama. Her vibe was not nurturing. It was chaotic. See, that's the real history, not the sanitized, over-dramatic Facebook version that Theresa wants us to run with. And this is why she wanted to keep that man invisible. Because he knew the real her. He knew the version the world never saw. He knew the version those Facebook tears couldn't cover, and the version that those press conferences couldn't rewrite. Now it makes sense. Now it really makes sense. When I replay hearing Jedediah says, "Bitch, I protected you." He knew things about Theresa. And out of the respect for justice for Kenneka. He gave Theresa the spotlight of being a mother, a so-say grieving mother. But this hoe had secrets. This hoe had secrets. And depending on the connection that King had with Kenneka, and it seemed like it wasn't much. And that's just my honest opinion. He could have exposed the lie. See, King Edward Jenkins, he could have spoken on what was going on in Theresa's home, the dysfunction, the type of people Theresa ran with, the mess she dragged her children through. He could have spoken on that shit. He really could have spoken on it. That man could have confirmed everything the public been out here trying to piece together, but never had a second adult to validate. And that right there would have blown the whole narrative apart. Because if this man stepped forward and said, Theresa wasn't the mother that she pretends to be. If this man would have stepped forward and said, I saw danger brewing years before that hotel. He could have even said our daughter didn't grow up in the stability that she deserved. That would change the whole story. And then the world would stop asking, what happened that night? And then they would start asking, what happened all of her life? Theresa couldn't afford that. She couldn't afford that. Before I go a little deeper, let me grab some of these comments in the chat. I ain't ignoring y'all. I'm just getting it out. I'm just getting it out, baby. But let me tell y'all my take on King Edward Jenkins before I go any further grabbing these comments. In Moca's honest opinion, he wasn't shit either. He wasn't shit. Because why would you make your presence known? To collect. And even after you collected, why did you remain hush mouth and not say one thing about Kenneka? Not one thing. But one thing we cannot deny. One thing that we cannot say is not true. And I want you all to hear me tonight. One thing we cannot say is not true. That is her fucking daddy. That man is her daddy. The courts recognized him as being her biological father. So that part with the daddy died and left her X amount of money, throw that shit out the window. Throw it out. Rashina, my love, thank you so very much for the super sticker, boo. Hip hop, I see you, boo. Right, Rodney. Very strategic, boo. Very strategic. Edward Joseph says, which explains why there was a major cover-up in the death of Kenneka. Edward, that major cover-up is so many people involved in this shit till it's ridiculous. You hear me? And the more you dig, the more you uncover. But you have to be mindful of what you uncover. Thank you so very much, Rodney. Cocoa Butter Sister, thank you so very much, Mama, for the super chat. You have to be mindful because there's so much out there. You have to be mindful. Blackberry, she says, wow, I didn't know the Kenneka's father was alive. Alive and well. I don't know what his issue is. I don't know. I can't right now, but I'll be able to come back with it though. Just not today. I don't know what his take is. I don't know what's going on with him behind the scenes. I don't know the lifestyle he's living. I don't know none of that, but I will find out. But one thing I want you all to know, he is alive and well. He is alive and well. He signed that damn NDA and he collected that money. It's me. Hey, my love, thank you so very much for the super chat. It's me, said I'd never seen anyone like her. This lady, whole baby gone, and she wants attention on her. That's what she's after right now. It's all about her. She's still making comments about running in the street naked. She said she's giving you a part 2. Edward Joseph says it just goes to show why there has never been any photos of them as a child. I have my take on that. There are some pictures out there. There are some pictures out there of Kenneka, as a child. We don't see no baby pictures, though. We don't see no baby pictures. You have pictures starting at a certain age. And that's as far as I'm going to go with that. I'll get into that when I get into that. Simone said now she's talking about somebody might unalive her. She knows exactly what she's saying, Simone, and she knows who she's running from. She knows who she's running from. That's right. Everybody got paid, baby. Everybody got paid at the expense of this baby. Edward Joseph says, we never seen any written communication of Kenneka Jenkins nowhere. Tony says, Mocha, did y'all see how Theresa was looking and acting when they showed her Kenneka in that spooky scene in the kitchen and the freezer? She was just as calm. Let me tell you, Tony, and this has been my take on this from day one. Any parent that's a real parent that has love for their children, the emotionalist, because this heifer had no emotions, that spoke volumes. And it goes back to what I've been saying from day one. Is Theresa really? Is Theresa really Kenneka's biological mom? And I'm going to break it all down in a little bit. I got to get that. Because one thing Mocha did uncover. One thing Moca did uncover, it explains not only Theresa's behavior, her demeanor, and her reaction towards the unaliving of Kenneka. It also explains why Lenore moved the way she did. Lenore is Kenneka's stepsister. How do you get to be a stepsister? I need y'all to help me figure it out. How do you get to be a stepsister if you both supposedly have the same mother? If you both are supposedly having the same mother, how the hell does Lenora become your stepsister? See, Theresa got many flies in her milk. That milk ain't clean, baby. That milk ain't clean. Theresa's around here lying her ass off. That's what she's doing. And we can't run with all these narratives. We can't run with them because Theresa's lying her ass off. Hey, Zafek Gaming. Hey, boo. My girl says, Theresa is not Kenneka's mother. Theresa's a scammer. She set the whole thing up for money. Theresa is known for doing scams like this. Theresa is evil. That says a lot about funky ass Theresa. It says a lot. And let me tell you, I'm going to let that stay marinating on that screen for a second. And let me keep cooking. Let me keep cooking. If y'all feeling what I'm putting down right about now, go ahead on and hit that like button for your girl. If y'all feeling what I'm putting down right now, throw me some hundreds in the chat and let me keep going. Let me keep going. And if y'all ain't feeling me, goddamn it, I don't mind stopping. Because I want us all to be on the same page. I want us all to be up. Look at them hundreds flying up in here. Thank you all. Thank you all so very much. Don't forget those emojis on the right because they are important too. They're hella important. Let's go. A woman don't hide a man or a father if he's irrelevant. She hides him because he knows her business and he knows all of it. He knows all of it. See the good version of you? He knows it. Anybody can know the good version of you, right? Your bad version, your messy version, your reckless version, and your harmful version. That's the version you want to keep off the cameras, Theresa. And I promise you this, the quietest people hold the loudest truths. Theresa couldn't risk King Edward Jenkins becoming a second narrator in this story, y'all. She needed her version to be the only one, her and Lenora's. She needed her version to be the heartbreaking version, the sympathy version, the attention-pulling version. See, having King Edward Jenkins invisible, that would make her feel like she done something great. But if King Edward Jenkins had to come to the forefront, that would have destroyed Theresa's control. It would have. See, children raised in unstable households, they learn to ignore red flags. They learn to minimize danger and to normalize dysfunction. Children raised in unstable households, they learn to stay loyal to chaos. They also learn, which is deadly, they learn to silence their own needs. And they learn to carry adult burdens. Kenneka wasn't raised to recognize danger. Being attached to Theresa raggedy ass, she was raised to survive it. Theresa didn't build a foundation of protection. Theresa had everybody around her tied. That child was exhausted. You can't teach a child how to be safe if you never learned it. How the hell can you guide a child towards stability if you don't live in it? You damn sure can't raise a child in confusion and expect her to find clarity in the world. Theresa, that's not the way life goes, bitch. But I'm here to tell you that it was a trauma. Trauma passed down like the crack pipe Theresa be smoking. This wasn't no one night accident. This child grew up in this shit. And I'm going to say this with my whole chest. This tragedy did not begin at Crown Plaza. I want you all to know that. This tragedy did not begin at Crown Plaza, but it ended there. But it began years before. It began the day emotional instability became normal in that home. Danger became a familiar presence, and adults forgot how to be adults. It began the goddamn day Theresa chose control over being a parent. It began the day she shut out this man who could have balanced the truth. And the devastating part of it all is Kenneka's father was erased from the picture. He was the same father who could have exposed the truth that might have protected Kenneka from ending up in that freezer. You don't erase a man because he was useless. You erase him because his truth is too loud. You don't erase him because he's a piece of man. Theresa. So the narrative you're trying to spin, bitch, let's clear it up. This man was out the picture because this man was calling you out on your shit. This man was calling you out on your shit. Nola Bells, Nola Bowles, family and friends. Do you think Theresa kept this man hidden because he knew too much about her life? If you feeling what I'm putting down, type yes or no, even maybe. Do you think she kept this man hidden because he knew too much? I'm reading yes. I'm reading yes. I'm reading yes. I come with it, y'all. I'm reading yes. All right, now we all on the same page, baby. And that's what I like. Who do y'all think knew more about the real home environment? Who do y'all think knew more about the real home environment? Was it Theresa? Was it King? Was it both? But then only one was allowed to speak. Nessa, welcome, my love, and thank you so very much for supporting the channel. I appreciate it, baby. Thank you, chat. I'm seeing both. I'm seeing both. I'm seeing it. I love it. I love it because I feel too it was both. But only one was allowed to speak, and that was Theresa's ass. Only one was allowed to speak. And she showed that, baby. She showed that. So here we go. Let's take a little stroll. I want y'all to walk with me. Make sure you done poured yourself a drink. Because I got to take a sip right here before I move just a little further. Let's go. We're going to take a little stroll down that hallway. And we going to room 926. We're going to go and visit room 926. Y'all know the room. Y'all know the room. That's the night. That's the room where everybody failed Kenneka. We ain't gonna walk into the cleaned up version that they told the police. We ain't gonna walk into the watered down version that Theresa raggedy ass pushed online. We're not gonna deal with the kids was just partying. We ain't going there. We going into the truth. Because over here, that's all we got. Over here, we ain't trying to make nobody comfortable. And if you feel that you're uncomfortable with what Moca's putting down, then Moca's giving you all the permission in the world to bow the fuck out. Because it is what it is. And I'm not going to tiptoe. I'm not going to tap dance. And I'm not going to play with Theresa. Because she's lied for too long. She's covered up this truth for too long. And this baby is still not rested. See, room 926. That's a room no young girl should have ever walked in. Room 926 was the kind of room a young girl that walked in, especially a naive one, they would never walk safely out of. Not because of the hotel, not because of the freezer, but because of the people inside of that room. And I'm going to say this respectfully. Theresa knew what was going down in 926. Those so-called friends of Kenneka, they knew what was going down in room 926. All of this shit was strategically planned prior to this going down. This didn't just happen. This child did not just mysteriously walk into an atmosphere that she was so uncomfortable with. They planned it. They pumped her up prior to getting there. They pumped her head about a party. And she just wanted to be somewhere. So we're going to talk about it. If you were grown, street tied, gang affiliated, or even just old enough to know better, and you set your ass there and you watched the vulnerable, sad, intoxicated 19-year-old girl wander around that room, Bitch, you failed her. Nobody stepped in. Nobody protected her. This shit was, where she went that night, that was definitely not a party. It was a playground for predators, and it was a death trap for girls who weren't protected at home or by their so-called friend. Those girls that claim to be Kenneka's friends, they're all guilty. All of them. And they need to be accountable. They need to be accountable for the role that they played. They watched Kenneka drink herself sick. They saw her stumbling. They knew when she got there, prior to her even arriving at that ragged ass hotel, she was already emotional. And they left her there. But they didn't stop partying though. Then they had nerves to say they assumed she left with somebody. Friends like that, we none need an enemy. And then, when they so claimed couldn't find Kenneka, the sickest part of it all, family, y'all, I hope y'all with me. The sickest part of it all is the text message. See, their text message exposed their guilt. I don't see how nobody, Theresa, you big bad bald head wolf, how the fuck you ain't picked this up? The text message that read, I can't believe y'all lost her. I can't believe y'all lost her. What the fuck? So why are we playing this game? What you mean? I can't believe y'all lost her. Lost? You don't lose somebody unless you never valued them in the first goddamn place. Then we got Lenora. See, Theresa never acknowledged in none of them interviews, in none of her fucking rants, Theresa never acknowledged that Lenora was at that hotel too. Then the bitch later on showed up to the police station pretending to be blindsided. Bitch, you was at that party. So we're not going to let people and the news spin it that Lenora was home or she didn't know shit or she was innocent. Moca, what the fuck you talking about? Lenora was there. Receipts online. Kenneka texted Lenora, told her she wasn't feeling the party and she wanted to go. How many of y'all remember the text message that Kenneka sent to Lenora? If you remember the text message, put it in the chat. Moca, I remember. Put it in the chat. Moca, I remember. The fuck? And what did, thank you, Keisha. What did Lenora do? What did Lenora do? She ignored her. As if the message meant nothing. As if her stepsister wasn't in distress. As if she didn't give a damn. Now let me ask you all something. Let me ask you all something. I want to know how you feel about it because Moca feels a kind of way. On Lenora's behalf, what do y'all feel? Was it negligence? Was it jealousy? Was it this bitch just being irresponsible? Or was it a setup? Because if it was my sister, I don't give a fuck. I'm moving. I'm already ahead of her. Lenora didn't do none of that. And Theresa never explained why. Theresa never held Lenora accountable. Theresa never mentioned. Not only did she not mention that Lenora was there, Theresa never mentioned that she was there. Never. Because while everybody was crying for Kenneka, everybody posted hashtags. Theresa doing interviews, the city choking on conspiracy theories. Guess who was the quietest in the room? All this shit going on. Lenora remained the quietest in the room. And you know why quiet motherfuckers scares me? Because they be holding the most truth. They hold the most truth. So let's talk about Lenora's raggedy ass. Lenora was indeed at the party. Lenora saw the environment. Lenora received that text message. Lenora ignored that text. She didn't come for her sister. She didn't protect her. She didn't leave with her. She didn't even acknowledge what was going on. But when it was time to collect that settlement, when it was time to sign that NDA, this bitch was front row, front of the line, pin ready, palm grease. Lenora collected her 1.3 million. For what? For what? Being a half sister in name only? Kenneka didn't text no friends. She didn't text the boys. She didn't text Mike. She texted Lenora. She told the bitch, I want to go. But I'm going to stop right there because I have a problem with that. Why would Kenneka text Lenora saying that she wants to go when Theresa had already came out here with her story that Kenneka drove her car? Now, if Kenneka got car, Kenneka got the keys, Kenneka drove herself there, why would she tell Lenora, I'm ready to go? You got every right to get the hell on. So was Lenora with you when you left from Theresa's house? Was Lenora the real driver of that car? Because why do you need Lenora's permission to leave? I want to know. I want to know. Kenneka saying that she was uncomfortable. I want you all to know that shit was not random. That shit was not random. That's not some shit you just leave on read. Lenora chose not to respond because Lenora knew the plan. Lenora knew the setup. Now this This is the part that fucked me up, because how does a sister set her own sister up, knowing what was happening, knowing what was about to happen? But bitch, you walk away with over $1 million from her death. How do you? You failed her in life. You failed her in her last moments. You failed her when she needed you the most. But you sat at that table and you collected $1. In the streets, in the streets, we call that guilt money, hush money, blood money, opportunistic money, payments for silence. You don't get to ignore your sister's cry for help and then collect a check like you protected her. Bitch, sit the fuck down. That's what you do, because you failed her and you benefited from this girl. So look, yeah, nah, I'm sick of Theresa and I'm sick of Lenore. Those friends that Kenneka thought was her friends. We saw they were not her friends. Then you got Mike, a known gang affiliate, present in a room full of underage girls drinking and doing the most. Stolen credit cards, illegal alcohol, and all these girls were vulnerable. That's not a benign detail. That's not irrelevant. That's not just some guy. Gang involvement, gang energy is opportunist. Hello. Gang energy is predatory. It thrives in chaos. It targets the vulnerable. And a room that Kenneka was in. Kenneka was not, she wasn't equipped for this type of shit. You could look at her. She was timid. She didn't know street life, but she thought she could survive it because of the bullshit that she went through living under the roof with Theresa. That type of environment is a type of environment where anybody could go missing. And the whole room just turned around and looked like that shit was normal. But for them, that shit was normal. There's only 2 reasons that Moca knows of where a group of people all in the same area dismisses a distressed girl. They don't care. That's number 1. Or they benefit from her being out of the goddamn way. They all did her dirty. So why didn't nobody walk Kenneka to a bathroom and say, hey, sis, let's fix your shit? Why nobody stopped her from leaving by herself? Because they threw her ass out in the hallway like a piece of rug and left her there. Why was the only person that she texts pissy ass Lenora? Why did she ignore her? And why the fuck would they give that narrative that they assume she left with somebody? Who is this somebody? Nobody was alarmed. And these people were very comfortable with her disappearing without a trace. This was culture. This was normalized danger, and it was familiar dysfunction. They all knew what the setup was. They all knew what the plan was, and they all played their role accordingly. Nobody protected her. Nobody protected Kenneka because nobody respected her. The party was dangerous before she even walked in. And what we got to understand, Kenneka's fate was sealed. Her fate was sealed the moment she stepped in the room where every single person there saw her as extra, not as a human being worth protecting, as an extra, knowing she wasn't there for long. Believe me, this was no accident. This was collective. Every single person in room 926, along with Theresa, they failed her. Nola Bells and bows, family and friends. Do y'all think Lenora ignoring Kenneka that night, was it negligence or a setup energy? Because something just ain't right. Something ain't right. And I want to know who played the biggest role in her being left unprotected. Was it her friends? Was it Lenora? Was it Theresa? Or every fucking body she came in contact with that night? This makes no sense. This child's fate was already situated, already labeled before she even left Theresa's fucking house. And what I'm about to share with you right now, these are not theories. They aren't rumors, and they're not conspiracies. These are the facts. Facts that I know from the timeline. Those were confirmed by the police. Facts the hotel documented. And these same facts, I don't give a fuck how factual they are, they still don't sit right. I don't give a shit how you look at it. She left Theresa's home at 11:30. And when she leaves Theresa's house, she's already emotional. She's sad. She's already fragile, walking into a night that should have never happened. And why is Kenneka sad? Why is she emotional? Kenneka didn't want to go to that party. Kenneka was forced to go there. Kenneka was depressed. Why was she depressed, Moca? Kenneka's boyfriend had just gotten locked up. Kenneka was feeling a certain type of way about that. Kenneka felt in her heart that she should not be out partying and enjoying life while her boyfriend was locked up. She did not want to go. She did not want to go. So here it is, 1:13 in the morning. Her, those raggedy friends, they enter Crown Plaza. 3 o'clock. She's supposedly out of it. Three o'clock. They threw her out the room in the name of leaving her by the elevator. Surveillance camera pick up what the fuck they wanted to pick up. They picked her up between 3:25 and 3:32. Now you gotta supposedly functioning hotel, and you mean to tell me your camera only caught 7 minutes of her movements? I'll be damned. I'll be damned. You mean to tell me? Here goes Kenneka, stumbling through restricted areas, walking in a kitchen she didn't belong in, lights off, no staff nowhere to be found, no cameras, nobody available to ask questions. And that hotel want me to believe that they didn't see anything wrong? But I will tell y'all this. I will tell you this. Had it been a white girl wandering around that hotel at 3:30 in the morning, barely able to stand, that whole hotel would have been locked the fuck down. Kenneka didn't walk into a restaurant. She didn't walk into a public kitchen. She walked into a lower level vacant area. Let me say this shit again. Vacant, unused, dark, not staffed. But that freezer, they say the freezer was on. And there was no signage telling people how to get out if they got trapped. That part wasn't just tragedy, it was fucking negligence. So Theresa says she get a phone call from those so-called friends at 4 o'clock. She don't answer. She don't get up. She don't go. She don't rush. Theresa calls the police at 7 o'clock. My question is, bitch, why wait 3 hours to contact the police for somebody who had never disappeared before? "12:47 p.m. Lenora files a missing person report." 12:25 in the morning, which is the next day, is when they find Kenneka. Damn near 21 hours later, they found her in that freezer. I need y'all to make this shit make sense, because Moca can't make sense of it. People question the little shit they see on this camera as to why Kenneka was walking that way. I told y'all she started the night off being sad. Then the so-called friend says she drank Hennessy all night. But that turned out to be a lie. Because now Hennessy ain't the only thing you drank. You got topramate in your system. Where the fuck does the topramate come from? Who gave her the topramate? That's what I want to know. Who gave it to her? Kenneka was vulnerable. She was emotional. She just wanted to be someplace safe. And she knew that hotel was not the safe place for her. And she was looking for a fucking way out. She was scared. She didn't have the capacity to navigate danger because nobody never taught her how. Kenneka didn't just wander. Kenneka was lost. She was lost emotionally, mentally, and physically. if anyone, a friend, a staff member, a housekeeper, any goddamn body had stopped for just 5 fucking seconds, Kenneka would still be here. This shit wasn't a mystery. This was neglect stacked on top of neglect, stacked on top of neglect, stacked on top of Theresa's bald ass head failure. That's it and that's all. That's it. And that's all. Imagine if King Edward Jenkins stood up and said, this is exactly the kind of situation I feared. Imagine if King Edward Jenkins had said, this is why I didn't trust the environment she grew up in. Imagine him saying, this is why I distanced myself, not from my child, but from the chaos surrounding her. Imagine him saying, this is why I believed she wasn't emotionally equipped to handle danger alone. Do you see now? Do y'all see now why Theresa wanted that man silent? She wanted him silent because his voice would have exposed the deeper truth. Kenneka didn't walk into that freezer alone. She did not walk into that freezer alone. Kenneka was walked to that freezer. And I don't even believe she walked to that freezer, because whatever happened to that baby happened to her way before the freezer. But she couldn't cope, because the life that she knew and the home that she came from didn't teach her shit. This was not an accident. This was a sequence, a pattern, a chain of failure. Her mother failed her, and I don't even know if that bitch is her mama. Lenora failed her, and we can't call her a sister. Lenora is a stepsister. Those so-called friends failed her. Mike failed her. That hotel, the police, everybody that had a chance to save her, they dropped the ball. A preventable death caused by a bunch of no fucking bodies who didn't value her enough to show up when it mattered. No bells and bows, family and friends. Do you believe this timeline adds up to an accident? Or do you believe this timeline adds up to a chain of negligence? Let me know in the chat. Was it accident, negligence, or a fucking cover-up? And I believe if anybody had stepped in at any point, if anybody had stepped in at any point, do y'all think we would still be here today discussing this shit? This baby was failed at every stage. Thank you all for responding in the chat. I truly, truly appreciate it. And for those of you that are just joining, hit that like button for your girl. Hit that like button for your girl. Let YouTube know we out here. We're doing what we do. We're doing what we do. And I appreciate each and every one of you all that pulled up on Moca this evening And if you're feeling led to support the channel and the truth and the work that I do, you're feeling led, bless the channel. Bless the channel. Whether it's Cash App, Super Chat, Super Sticker, I appreciate it either way, even if it's just clicking the like button. Theresa's contradictions. We're going to talk about this bitch. Theresa controlled this entire narrative from day one. And listen, before anybody gets emotional, regardless of how you look at it, oh, Moca's disrespecting Theresa. I don't give a fuck. I'm here to tell you, I don't give a fuck. This is about dissecting this bitch's behavior. She's full of inconsistencies, contradictions, and choices that shape the entire story that she's created, while the truth has been hiding right here in plain sight. There's one thing that has never stayed the same in this case. If there's one thing that has never stayed the same in this entire case, it's Theresa's damn story. Ask yourself why her story changed every time the police asked a question, every time the media pressed her, every time the public caught a contradiction. Sometimes she said she wasn't worried when the girls called. Make it make sense. Sometimes she said she immediately panicked. Theresa's a liar. Sometimes she said her daughter never disappeared before. Then Theresa even said, oh, she do that shit all the time. Then Theresa even said she got up right away. Then she come back and said it took hours. The fuck? But the one thing she never said, the one thing Theresa never said, she never said Kenneka texted Lenora. She never said Kenneka was ignored by Lenora. She never said that. She erased that detail just like she erased King Edward Jenkins. And for those of you that are familiar with Theresa on Facebook, Theresa Facebook Live Rants tells you everything you need to know. Not the press conferences, the interviews, or not her carefully crafted victim statements. Theresa's own words were erratic. They were contradictory. Unstable and very revealing. This bitch would cuss, cry, confess, contradict herself. She called it truth telling. Her instability wasn't just grief, y'all. It was a pattern. It's Kenneka tearing that ass to smithereens. Theresa didn't behave like a mama trying to find facts. This bitch out here behaving like somebody that's trying to control a story. Because a mother that wants the truth, she's going to tell the people, listen, look at everything. Analyze my child's phone. Check every detail. A mother who wants control says, I don't want her phone analyzed. A mother who wants to be in control of shit, listen to me well, y'all. This bitch wanted control so bad. Theresa told the police, I don't want her phone analyzed. Chat, if you're with me, I want y'all to tell me, why do you all believe Theresa did not want this child's phone analyzed? Theresa told them certain people she didn't want questioned. Don't question certain people. Theresa was telling these people, I don't want that angle explored. No, don't go over there. No, don't bother them. They're not involved. She's telling these people, I don't know who all was there. She's telling them, oh no, that wasn't her sister that was there. No, Lenora wasn't at the party. Theresa has excluded the behaviors of somebody protecting so many people. She wasn't protecting the truth, y'all. She was protecting people. And my thing is, if the police had analyzed, if Theresa had given permission for the police to analyze that fucking phone, they would have saw the text to Lenora. They would have seen the messages revealing her emotional state. They would have revealed Kenneka saying who she didn't trust, who she didn't want to be around, what she was worried about. They would have revealed all the messages that Kenneka sent during that party and while she was there. Theresa was protecting Theresa. When these people wanted Kenneka's phone, Theresa didn't block this shit one time. She blocked it twice. Twice this hoe said no. But you got people out here defending her and want me to buy into that shit? I think the fuck not. Why was she blocking an investigation that could have saved Kenneka, or at least explain what happened, unless the truth would have reflected badly on either her or the people she was trying to protect? That press conference, that wasn't grief. That was definitely a deflection. All you got to do is listen to how she spoke. Contradiction after contradiction. No details that match the police timeline. Theresa was aggressive and defensive. Kept emphasizing on irrelevant information. She refused to answer key questions. And at the most strategic moment, this bitch had irrational, emotional outbursts. It was the instant lie she told. It was the I didn't wait lie. I did everything I could lie. She didn't want justice. She wanted sympathy and a narrative control. That's what Theresa wanted. Every time, listen to this, and hear me well, because I'm not coming out here to bring you what they want you to know. I'm not going to even come out here and bring you what I think I want you to know. If I didn't research, and if I didn't find it out for myself, I ain't telling it to you. Listen to this. Every time a reporter asked this bitch about her father, she flinched. She dodged the question and she redirected every time. She got defensive and she moved herself from that space. Now, why would Theresa do that? Why would Theresa do that? Theresa did that because it's truth. His truth is the only truth that could challenge and collapse her entire storyline. And for those in the back, Kenneka Jenkins' father is alive and well. This man is not deceased. A dead man cannot sit around a big table at the hotel or at the lawyer's office, wherever the fuck they sat. A dead man cannot sign off and collect $1.2 million on behalf of his daughter because the court recognized him as the biological father. A dead man can't do that. A father who wasn't allowed to speak means there was something he could identify that she wanted the world to stay blind to. The inconsistencies in her damn behavior becomes clean when you remember Theresa needed to be the only voice, so nobody else could break her version of her reality. What did Theresa gain from the narrative she controlled? Let's talk about the benefits. AB Original Man, you came in a chat late, my love. Kenneka Jenkins' father is alive and well. I don't give a damn what's being put out there. A dead man, and I'm going to say it again, a dead man cannot, will not. It's impossible for a dead man to grab a pen and paper and sign off for $1.2 million. A dead man cannot sign an NDA. And one thing I know, the courts will not recognize a corpse and say, hey, dead man walking. Yeah, you the daddy. The fuck? What did Theresa gain from the narrative she controlled, family? Because people don't like this part, but we go tell it. See, from controlling the narrative, Theresa gained sympathy. She gained attention. She gained GoFundMe donations and viral support. Theresa even gained a bunch of fucking dummies that's buying her story. And you know, I have to say this with love. To support the shit Theresa got going on. To support Theresa's story, her shenanigans, And everything that Teresa's doing out here that's not motherly, that's looking dark and evil and demonic, to support that, Mocha's gonna say, go check your fucking self. Because something is wrong with you too. Theresa gained a $3.7 million payout. She received the highest amount in the entire family. See, people expose themselves through behavior, not through tears. You better know it. A lot of y'all saw Theresa as a grieving mother. What I saw was a woman that was terrified that the truth about her parenting, about her environment, about her choices, her instability, her secrets, about her daughter's messages and her family dynamic, she was afraid it would finally come out. See, people grieve differently. I recognize that. But contradictions, evasiveness, narrative control, refusing help from investigations, that ain't grief, that's guilt. That's fucking guilt mixed with fear all day long. Ross, thank you, my love. Family, based on everything that we just spoke on, do you believe? Do you believe Teresa's contradictions were accidental or intentional? Was it accidental, y'all? Was it intentional? Or was it strategic planning from this bitch? Was it strategic and self-protective? Not on Mocha's watch, Theresa. And I want you all to tell me which part of Teresa's behavior bothers you the most. Which part? Is it the changing of her stories? The refusal to hand over that fucking phone? The press conference? Or fuck it, just say all of them. Let me know. This shit, Theresa. How long, Theresa, did you sit and plan this shit? How long? See, I need y'all to sit with me, family. Sit with me through this aftermath, because what happened after the death told a deeper truth than anything that the hotel, the police, or Theresa ever said. Let's talk about the money. Let's talk about the silence. And let's talk about the benefits. There go Cornell with the fucking eyebrows. Theresa! Cornell said you did everything with your money and you did nothing with those eyebrows, ma'am. For those of you that's just joining the chat, welcome. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Hit the like button for your girl. I really, really appreciate it. And while hitting that like button, share out the live, because somebody somewhere needs to hear this truth. And if you're able, grab a membership and become a part of this beautiful, beautiful family. As we move along, we're going to start at these $10 million. Let's start at these $10 million. Thank you, my beautiful sister Rob. Let's start there. Who got the most? Not the father, not the siblings, damn sure not the people that fought for the truth. Theresa got the most. Theresa got 3.7. And let's talk about, baby, what the defendants demanded in exchange. These people didn't want no admission of guilt. These people didn't want no responsibility, no wrongdoing, no acknowledgement of failure. In other words, listen to me and listen to me well. Shit, where's my drink? Fuck. Theresa, girl. These people told Theresa, bitch, here's your money. Now shut the fuck up and don't come back. That's pretty much what they told her. So, for those that's questioning what Moca's spitting tonight, Moca has no reason to lie. Moca has no reason to falsify a damn thing, because I said it in the beginning. Everything that I bring to you, public records. Now, if you want to dig, because Moca dug, and Moca's still digging. Listen and listen well. Theresa received $3.7 million. Lenora received $1.3 million. Kenny, the brother, he received, poor baby, he received $1.2 million. Kenneka's biological father, King Edward Jenkins, he received $1.2 million. They set aside $6,000 for Kenneka's funeral expenses. That didn't come out of Theresa's money. I want you to understand and leave away from here with a great understanding. Theresa lies, and the truth is nowhere around it. The settlement, they put aside $6,000 for Kenneka's funeral. The attorney fees were $3.5 million. That's it, and that's all. And that's public knowledge if you know where to go. Now let me ask y'all something. How did the people that failed her the most walk away with this kind of money? A mother who didn't give a damn. A stepsister who was jealous as shit. King Edward Jenkins, a man in the backgrounds, in the shadows. And then Kenny. How y'all get that kind of money? And why? Y'all hoes benefited more in this child's death than y'all ever showed up in her real life. Lenora's silence was bought and paid for. Lenora got the text, she ignored it. That's blood money. And Lenora never spoke out. Lenora never questioned the timeline, never called out the hotel, never held friends accountable. She didn't want the truth. Why? Because to that hope, silence was very profitable. After Theresa got paid, where was the justice movement, y'all? Where was the push for reform? Where were the lawsuits against those that had that party? Where was the demands for accountability, Theresa? It all went quiet. It all went quiet. Because once money entered the room, the truth had to fucking go. Now let's talk about King Edward Jenkins again. The man Theresa hid, the man Theresa erased, downplayed, and excluded. He got the same amount as his son. Thank you so much, very much, my sister Rashina. Thank you all for helping me reach my goal. He got the same amount as Kenny. Not because he fought for it. Hear me well. And not because he cried publicly. This man got this money because legally, morally, and factually, for those of you in the back that's questioning where Moca's going with this, he got this money because he was a parent, on paper, documented, recognized by the courts. He remained quiet and reserved. And the courts recognized that he was Kenneka's biological father. The courts don't pay men who weren't in their child's life. The court only pays legal parents. And Theresa, I don't give a shit how much she manipulated the system. I don't give a damn how hard she tried. King Edward Jenkins could not be erased. Damn it, DNA don't lie. He was Kenneka's legal, biological parent. Y'all ever notice how the loudest people during the chaos become the quietest once the checks get cut? Theresa, you got quiet. Lenora got quiet. All them so-say friends who was posted, rest in peace, them hoes got quiet. And the reason everybody got quiet is because money didn't buy justice. It bought silence. That money bought protection. It bought distance from investigation, and it bought fucking amnesia. And Theresa, out of the 3.7 that she collected, she made sure a lot of people stayed quiet. Chat, if you're still with me, drop me hundreds in the chat if you're still with me. And I'm going to say this the way it needs to be said. Kristen, my love, thank you for gifting a membership, baby. I'm going to say this because it needs to be said. Right? If you did nothing to protect Kenneka in life, you shouldn't have walked away with $1 in her death. You ignored her cry for help. You hoes should have not benefited from her silence. If you abandoned her at a time when she needed you most, at that raggedy ass party, you should have not even gone to the funeral. That money didn't heal a damn thing. That money did not bring closure, and it didn't fix shit. All it did, that money exposed who everybody was. Now, chat, for all that I brought to you tonight, does that settlement breakdown that I just gave you all, tell me if it sits right in your spirit? Say yes, say hell, say no, hell no, or just say, Mocha, that shit speaks volume. How does this shit sit in your spirit? Does it sit right? The way they connected this money. And I want to know why. The system failed the fuck out of Kenneka. Because what happened after she supposedly went missing says everything about how our young black girls are valued in America. What happened after she went missing says everything about how our young black girls are valued in America. After she went missing, she was ignored, dismissed. Shit was minimized, overlooked. And to them, it didn't deserve urgency. Crown Plaza had supposedly 47 working cameras. They claimed that they had 24-hour security. They even said they had staff walking the halls. They said it had employees moving all through the areas. But somehow, Kenneka wandered through restricted areas for 7 full minutes, and you mean to tell me no fucking body saw it? Not one employee. They failed her. That fucking kitchen was a death trap, hiding in plain sight. Hiding in plain sight. This wasn't a working kitchen. It wasn't supervised. It wasn't monitored. It wasn't lit. That bitch was vacant, dark. That wasn't an accident waiting to happen. That was fucking negligence. We all know hypothermia takes time. When Kenneka entered that freezer, she was alive. She didn't die instantly. She didn't collapse instantly. Kenneka fought. If anyone, hotel staff, police, security, anybody had searched earlier, she could have still been here. But Mocha's aware that it didn't take place there. She was just dropped off there. And I want to know about these inconsistencies. The hotel waited hours to check the kitchen. Why was that freezer on in an unused area? Why was there no footage of Kenneka entering that freezer, y'all? And another concern that Moca has, why the hell did the police only released some of the angles, but not all. That's how I know everybody failed her. Because I don't give a damn how much Theresa said no. I don't want y'all searching her phone. And Theresa didn't tell it to him once, she told him twice. I don't give a goddamn how many times Theresa said, don't search that phone. The police had every right to do what the fuck they had to do if they really wanted to do it without Theresa's permission. Then we have to ask ourselves, why didn't Theresa want them to search that phone? Now, Theresa, only you could tell us this. Why, bitch? Why would you settle for $10 million? And the hotel, you could answer it too. Why would you give Theresa $10 million if your ass wasn't negligent? They never revealed the guest list from room 926, and that was a concern of mine. Y'all have to make me understand. Why were the key logs and the security records withheld? This was a lot of incompetence going on. Theresa, your slow ass got paid that little bit of money, bitch, to protect liability. If this had been a politician's daughter, if this had been a little white girl from the suburbs, or even a wealthy child, that hotel would have been locked down. There would have been drones and dogs. There would have been a full search. Every hallway swarm, but a little black girl. And this, once again, is why Theresa kept King Edward Jenkins quiet. He could have said they didn't search fast enough. They didn't value my daughter's life. He could have said a whole lot of shit. And had he said something, anything, I believe this man could have unraveled every goddamn thing. But Theresa kept him in the background. Every line of protection that could have saved her broke. That wasn't a freeze of death. That was not a freeze of death. This was a chain of human negligence. Tonight we came out here, we told the truth. The truth that Theresa danced around. The truth the hotel was paid to bury. The truth the police minimized. And the truth that the internet twisted. Once again, Kenneka Jenkins' father, her real father, biological father, this man is alive and well. The truth here is Kenneka wasn't failed once. Kenneka was repeatedly failed. She was failed in a chain that never broke because nobody ever stepped up. She was failed at home. And that's where it all started. This child wasn't lost. This child was abandoned. She was abandoned. And the saddest part of this entire story to me is not the freezer, is that she died doing exactly what vulnerable girls do and nobody protects them. She tried to find a safe place on her own. She walked down that hallway because in life nobody ever walked with her. She entered that freezer because nobody told her where not to go. And she froze alone because every single person in her existence failed to act. And let's be honest, if King Edward was a stable man in Kenneka's life, had he been involved, had he been present and allowed to speak, this entire story would look different. It would look totally different. Had he been an involved and active parent, I'm more than sure of that. And we got to know that Theresa didn't hide this man because he was irrelevant. She hid him because his presence would expose her failures. And his silence would forever protect her more than it protected him. And from the way Kenneka looked, and from what we know now, Kenneka was dead long before she died. This story, Kenneka's story, it teaches us as adults to protect our children, keep our home stable, stop normalizing chaos. It's okay to be nosy. We have to know who our children are around. They have to know boundaries. But you can't be a parent when it's convenient for you. And Theresa showed she was not that parent. And if you take anything from this live stream tonight, let it be this. Kenneka didn't walk into that freezer alone. Kenneka walked in carrying the weight of every person who was supposed to love and protect her, but didn't. Kenneka's death isn't a mystery. Kenneka's death is a reflection of a world where Black girls aren't loved the same. They aren't protected. They're not prioritized, and they're not given the grace to survive their mistakes. If we don't learn from this, if we don't do better, if we don't raise our children in love and structure, you all better know that another Kenneka is already on the way. You got to know that. After everything that we've uncovered tonight, I need y'all to tell me who actually sit there and failed Kenneka the most. Y'all know who failed her the most. We took this story tonight, piece by piece. We didn't rush it. We didn't sensationalize it. And we damn sure didn't water it down. We told the truth the world avoided, the truth that family danced around and the hotel paid to bury, same truth that the police minimized. Kenneka wasn't failed once. She was failed over and over and over, and in a chain that never broke because nobody never stepped in to save her. Nobody. And this is sad. This is sad. And I want y'all to know tonight was heavy, but it was real and it was necessary. I didn't come here to lie. I didn't come here to repeat the same old half-truths and cover-ups that's been repeated since 2017. I came here to talk about Kenneka, a young lady who deserved better. And if we don't start speaking the truth, we're going to always get caught up in the bullshit and the lies. We don't speak the truth here for shock value. Here at Moca and Enola Bells, we speak it because silence has killed enough of our babies. And I refuse to let silence win again tonight. If nobody ever loved her out loud, if nobody ever protected Kenneka in her life, we go protect her story in her death. Family, before you close out tonight, I want you to know Kenneka didn't get a second chance. She didn't get to grow up. She didn't get to love. She didn't get to learn, to heal, or to live her life to the fullest. But we're still here. We are still here. Roz, thank you for becoming a new member, my love. Welcome to the Enola Bells, baby. But we're still here, family. We got work to do. We got conversations to have, even inside of our own homes. We have boundaries to set, daughters to protect. We have sons to raise differently. And we also have generational trauma that has to be broken. Because if the adults in Kenneka's life had done their job, we would not be here tonight. Enola Bells and Bows. Family and friends, if you all felt this message, if you learned something, anything, if this touched your spirit just a little bit, and if this made you look at your community differently, make sure you like this live stream. Make sure you share it. And make sure you subscribe so we can continue exposing the truth the way it deserves to be exposed. Over here at Moca and Enola Bells, this is not just a channel. This is a movement. And movements grow when people push them. And we're here. We're here for it. We're here for it. All opinions here matter. All opinions are welcome. And all opinions will forever be respected. Because we're all here on the same accord. seeking justice for these children. And I've declared that this space will always be a space for those that don't have a voice of their own. And with your help, together, we can and we will be the voice for the voiceless. And tonight, I thank each and every one of you for pulling up. Thank each and every one of you for rocking with Moca and staying with her for 2 hours. Welcome to those that have gotten memberships to the channel and joined the family. I thank each and every one of you for supporting the channel through Cash App donations. Laria, my love, thank you so much for the Cash App. Those that donated through super chats and super stickers, that's a blessing. And I thank you all for that, because that keeps the channel growing. And I appreciate that. You all, I encourage you all to keep your notifications set. For every time Moca goes live, you are well aware of when she's going. And on that note, until next time, keep your ears open, keep your eyes open. Until next time, Moca's going to say good night. Moca's going to say God bless each and every one of you. And I love you all. Ain't shit you could do about it, because you all show love to me. And together, I believe, being that we stand in this space with all for the greater good and a common cause, I do believe we could make a difference. Even if it's just a little one, together we can make a difference. So on that note, guys, I'm saying God bless you all. Good night, and I will see you later.
We stand tall, we rise as one. No lapels, the work ain't done. No. Moca leading from the heart, never run. Truth and caring, everything we become. It's more than a vibe, it's a home, it's a call. Over here we catch each other when we fall. This is family. Full of truth and a chat full of cheer. Moca in the seat, steady steering the ship. Every topic got depth, every comment got grip. We don't tear folks down, we just build them up. If you're moving off love, then you one of us. Know the pride in the room and the vibe so loud. Every bell in the check gon' rep that crowd. We stand tall, we rise as one. No lapels, the work ain't done. Moca leading from the heart, never run. Truth and caring, everything we become. It's more than a vibe, it's a home, it's a talk. Over here we catch each other when we fall. This is family. This is family. This is family. And we stand tall. Down in the NOLA where the soul don't break. Moca built the lane where the real ones stay. Ain't no faking the funk, ain't no playing for clout. You bring that mess, we gon' sort that out. But this ain't about drama, it's about love. It's about healing, it's about trust. Every child, every voice, every name in the breeze. We gon' stand for the ones no one else gon' see. So we rise tall, we rise as one. Oh no, no bellows, the work ain't done. line. We protect what's right and we hold that line. It's the chat where the truth and the love collide, where the voices don't hide and the pain gets light. We see you, we feel you, we fight for the cause. Every kid, every tear, we break down walls. When you hear that bell, that's the call to act. We family now, and that's just facts. We stand tall, we rise as one. Know the bells, the work ain't done. Know that you're leading from the heart, never run. Truth and care are everything we become. It's more than a vibe, it's a home, it's a call. Over here we catch each other when we fall. This is family. This one's for every voice we fight for and every child who needs to be heard. We see you, we feel you, we stand with the truth. This is the Know the Bells. Leave a comment, like, share, subscribe. Stand tall with join the family.
Good night, everyone. God bless.